the plus side for Peter Reid and his assistant Sam Ellis. Andy Hill is fit again to resume at right back, and that frees Ian Brightwell to move back into midfield. It's the only change from the team which beat Norwich City on Boxing Day. Niall Quinn, such a success here since his move to Main Road from Arsenal 21 months ago now, but he's not yet scored against his old club. He badly wants to put that right today. Arsenal call on Paul Davis. Although he is in dispute with the club, he's asked for a transfer, and his inclusion is an indication of difficult times at Highbury. Davis for Anders Limpar, who broke his jaw at Luton, is the only change in personnel from the team which gave what George Graham called Arsenal's worst display of the season. But there is a major tactical switch. David O'Leary moves from right back to sweeper in a three-man central defence, and Lee Dixon and Nigel Winterburn, the usual fullbacks, are asked to bolster the midfield. Referee Jim Rushton comes from Stoke-on-Trent. Arsenal to kick off. They started 1991 on this ground, a 1-0 win on New Year's Day, which really sparked that surge towards the championship over the first half of the year. And now they're back facing Manchester City to finish their year on a more subdued note, certainly in terms of their recent performances. Very high one moment, very low the next, and never lower than they were 48 hours ago at Luton. What sort of response will George Graham's criticism have provoked here? Well, they've started brightly enough and forced a corner, which has brought David White back to defend. O'Leary has come up at the near post, Coton staying on his line. City have conceded a number of goals at set pieces recently, and after the ball had bobbled around the penalty area, certainly they charged out in a unified way to win the offside decision. Well, George Graham on the right of the picture. Bobby Charlton with a day off today. His Manchester United play, of course, tomorrow, need I remind you, away to Leeds United. Laid back by Wright. Smith allowed to head it down. Merson hits it well, and it just veered away, to the considerable relief of Manchester City and Tony Coton in particular. There's no doubt that Paul Merson is a major talent, being recognised now in international football, and he very nearly turned the early stages Arsenal's way here. Quinn, Heath coming infield, he's got White ahead of him. Heath goes on, has he made something for himself here? Adrian Heath now has to cross it and can't pull the ball back. He's been a useful asset to Manchester City, although his goal-scoring capabilities have really deserted him in the First Division. But he's filled a variety of holes, and he worked for a position here. He couldn't quite deliver the cross. Back from Hughes, playing safe with Dixon at his back. Heath just giving Hill a problem there, allowing Merson to get in the challenge. Paul Merson, who of course, with a number of the Arsenal players, represented the England B side earlier this month and scored the winner in Spain against the Spanish Olympic side. And he's very much in Graham Taylor's thinking for the senior squad. Quinn. It'll come for Quinn again, and he's frustrated by his old club once again. It's the fifth time that Niall Quinn has faced Arsenal, and his first goal at their expense very nearly materialised, and but for David Seaman's excellence it would have done. City's corner, and after Hill had got to it, Manchester City couldn't get the second ball. Here's Rocastle. Now Wright. And Quinn is offside and is still reflecting, I'm sure. on this incident, and it shows again that he's got good feet as well as his excellence in the air. Niall Quinn, well stopped Seaman. Here's Hill. Arsenal defending as a unit, and that was over robust by Davis on Reed. 20 minutes to go to half-time. Curl with a quickish free kick. And Brightwell! Well, Ian Brightwell's only goal for City this season came at Arsenal back in August. And facing the goal here, he might have backed himself to get another one. Smith. And Ian Wright has put it wide, and by switching in from the right-hand side, Wright caught Manchester City out then. Curl was complaining, but a hand was used, and from that angle, of course, it's quite clear what the complaint was for. Reed. Brightwell's gone offside, he's had to check back, which he's done successfully. That was a reverse. Quinn tries to supply the cross. Great work by Reed. Free kick to Manchester City. The touch then really took Arsenal out. And David Seaman has to ask for a wall. 4 defenders he wants. They set it up for Redmond. Dixon's only a yard away. Redmond has another go! And my impression was that it might have been deflected even before it got into Seaman's territory. Flew up and flipped over the top by the goalkeeper as well. No wonder Redmond looked frustrated. Headed out by Bold, volleyed back by Brightwell, and in the end it was neither one thing or the other. Well, territorially it's been an even match, but Manchester City have had the more menacing moments in attack. Right. Now a chance for Dixon to hit in the early cross. Oh, and it was a header by Bold at the far post. Just wonder whether the referee is speaking to Steve Bold there. Might have given a free kick. Great ball by Dixon, met with real authority by Bold. Possibly with a shove along the way, and I don't think it would have counted. Winterburn, good play from George Graham's team, and Wright. The build-up here was beautiful. You can't say the same about the shot. I just recognised that Ian Wright took the responsibility of shooting first time. Megson. That's good play from Heath. Quinn allowed to turn. Heath goes again, and Dixon saw the threat straight away and looked at the situation with a little more appetite than Heath did, in truth. Merson, strong running from him. And Winterburn, the ball almost guided back to him by Smith. Here's Wright, the game really alive now, and neither Rocastle nor Smith could meet Ian Wright's centre. Hughes having to tuck in a bit to get into the game. It's a superb run. What about this from Michael Hughes? Oh, Poynton, and Seaman covered it as it was veering inside the post, but standing all around the ground to applaud Michael Hughes. And I'm afraid amongst the spectators here was Niall Quinn in sheer admiration, because after Hughes' run, which looked to lead to glory, was stopped there, Quinn was flat on his heels. Dixon, now Davis. It's a hard game, and Arsenal are playing their part. Winterburn, Goes for goal. With half an hour to go, it's Andy Linighan for Steve Bold. Here's Curl. Which defence will crack? Will either defence crack? Megson. Now Adams. In comes Reid, always providing a bit more perception. He's got the throw. Hughes. Reid's there for the simple pass. Brightwell. Quinn. Hoping to get it down for White. It'll come for David White now. Can he keep the run going? He has done. David White has been dynamite for Manchester City, and he's exploded again in the face of Arsenal this time. It was a messy goal really, but Manchester City won't mind that. Quinn tried to get it through first of all. In the end it ran off Dixon, and White was fast enough, alert enough to fire it past Seaman. 19 minutes to go. City are in front, and White scores for the 6th consecutive game. Adams. Well, the hunger here for possession is huge. Look at this. And that wasn't really called for. And Adrian Heath, who hasn't got too much weight to throw around, lost control. It's no surprise really that the game has come to this. It's been simmering. Adams would claim that was shoulder to shoulder. I'm not sure the referee would have seen it that way, but it was up to him to decide, not for Heath to take the law into his own hands. Heath may well be saying that he was fouled in the first place. It's yellow for Heath. Brightwell. Curl, up well. Megson. Quinn joining in. It falls well for Manchester City, and Adrian Heath and Hughes and White are both onside, and Hughes has got to it, and he's brought down, and Andy Linighan is in serious trouble here. It looks ominous for Linighan. He's off. And Arsenal's post-Christmas depression hits a new low. Smith. And even an improvised attempt from an instinctive goalscorer like Ian Wright can't improve Arsenal's parlous position. Manchester City really revelling in the holiday season. You can't say the same about George Graham and Arsenal. But David White has scored 4 goals in the last 8 days. He's now scored for 6 matches in a row. But Manchester City just 1 defeat now in their last 12 games. Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0.